What's up, my comic comrades? DC recently launched a summer event called Absolute Power, which centers around Amanda Waller and her drive to get rid of and or neutralize every meta-human on Earth. And to accomplish this, she's recruited Failsafe and the Brainiac Queen to join her Suicide Squad, making the team significantly more powerful than it's ever been. And this new Absolute Power actually puts her goal to end metahumans within reach. However, after realizing the level of threat they're facing, the Justice League has formed their own resistance against Amanda Waller, and things are getting spicy. But more broadly, we now know this event will introduce the Absolute Universe, along with a new alternate version of the DC Trinity. That includes the biggest brute of a Batman we've ever seen. We don't know much about him yet, but this dude is huge. Anyway, DC has also announced that the Absolute Power event will lead to a massive DC-wide initiative in October called DC All In. Based on what the creative leads Josh Williamson and Scott Snyder described in their announcement video, this will not be a reboot, and Superman will be in the spotlight as the DC heroes face a very different and incredibly powerful version of Darkseid, with an even bigger threat looming on the horizon. Honestly, we're more excited about this than anything DC has done in years, and if it's anything like what Snyder and Williamson described, it could be a really important and positive step into the future of DC Comics as they sync up with the vision being rolled out by James Gunn on the DC Studios side. So with that in mind, we're going to be covering the rollout of all of this as things progress through the Absolute Power event and into the start of the All In initiative at the beginning of October. But the important question to answer first is what led to Absolute Power in the first place? Because DC has actually been building the plot to get here for the past 2 years. So before we begin our coverage of the Absolute Power crossover event, we're going to get you caught up on the events that took place in the Batman comic running up to the Absolute Power DC crossover event and answer important questions like, why does Failsafe now look like a full-on robotic Batman? Wasn't he solely going after Batman in Gotham City? Did he defeat Batman at the end of the Failsafe story arc, or did Batman defeat him? And all these answers are found out in the Dark Prison storyline within Batman's main title. So let's jump in. It all kicks off in issue 145 of Batman. The issue starts off with Bruce Wayne and the Joker being held prisoner in the same cell by Failsafe. To give you backstory on that, in Batman 140, Bruce broke Joker's back when the Zur-En-Arrh version of him was in control. After this, Failsafe captured Batman, ripped off his cowl, and knocked him out. Bruce then woke up as a prisoner in the same cell with the Joker, now in a back brace, as seen at the end of Batman 141. And Batman 145 is picking up where the end of that issue left off, as Batman 142 through 144 gave us the Joker Year 1 story, which we actually covered in its entirety, and you can check out right here. Either way, at the beginning of Batman 145, now prison cellmates, Bruce tells Joker, "You're a liar." Joker replies, "But I'm a liar in prison, and the truth shall set us free." Bruce says to himself he knows about my mentors. It's possible that Daniel Captillo trained him the same as he did me. Ultimate control of your own mind. It's how I was able to eventually create and partition Zur. Bruce tells Joker, "You've known about Zur this entire time." Joker says, "You've only shown him to me twice before, but he was beautiful. The real you. Breaking you is easy. Breaking him, that would be a true triumph." Bruce says, "Quite the triumph. He broke your back." Joker replies, "Nothing a few sit-ups can't fix." Bruce says, "He left you in here to rot." Joker then says, "I'll get out on good behavior." Don't you get it, Brucey? I love this. Being here with you as you spiral, because you're here and he's out there, living your life, surely down in your little cave playing with your toys, doing a better job than you ever could. The true Batman, and you're here with a little old me. Just another criminal, another madman, while your city finally receives real justice. That's right, now that Bruce is being held prisoner by Zur Failsafe, Zur is now taking over as the new Batman, taking control of the Batcave and everything. And let's just say he's a way less forgiving Batman. We then see criminals stealing stuff and loading it onto trucks to get it to Bloodhaven by morning, at which point 3 missiles hit the truck, causing it to explode as a few of the guys get up saying, "Run, it's him." But Failsafe quickly restrains them. But as one is still running away, Zur Failsafe lands right in front of him saying, "Samuel Parsons. 2 stints in Blackgate for selling handguns. Prison is too good for you. I'm going to drop the rest of the scum in a hole, but I want you to tell your friends about me. Scream it through the streets. Yell it in every dive bar you come across, Batman is back," as he immobilizes Samuel with his cyborg symbiotic-like fingers. And I gotta say, Failsafe's new upgraded design, now that he's effectively the new Batman, is pretty awesome. We then see Red Hood on his motorcycle saying, "Oracle, I'm almost at the warehouse." And when he gets there, Zur greets him by saying, "Hello, Jason. I was hoping you'd be the first I'd encounter," as he takes off his cowl saying, "Okay, son, it's me. It's Bruce," putting an image of Bruce's face on the screen that is Failsafe's face. But Jason replies, "Nice try, Failsafe. I know your Tin Man oil stink anywhere." He replies, "Son, calm down. After the war with everyone, with Selina, I had some soul searching to do. I lashed out because I'd been slipping, and everyone else had to pick up the slack. I never wanted the burden to be so heavy on all of you. This is my war, and I'm forever putting you in danger. So I hunted down Failsafe, finally beat him once and for all, but it cost me. The fight flight left me broken, my body barely able to go on. I uploaded my consciousness to Failsafe's body, so no one else needs to suffer, so I could fight forever. But obviously, Jason doesn't believe him, which he shouldn't because he's lying, and he attacks Failsafe. But this is Failsafe, so he easily grabs him by the neck and says, Jason, this is a fresh start between us. The slate wiped clean. I swear I won't hurt you anymore, unless you break the law, as he puts his cowl back on and flies off. We are then taken to Bruce, who says, I'm tired, broken, but I can't rest. Not while he's out there. So he approaches the Joker as it looks like he's going for his neck, with the Joker saying, going to finish the job? Put the clown in the ground? But Bruce says, shut up, as he lifts his neck and takes a piece of metal out of his back brace as he uses it to pick the cell lock. He then takes some bandages to make a makeshift mask to hide his identity from everyone else in the prison. Then as Bruce is walking through the prison, he sees Vandal also being held captive. Vandal says, well, now I don't feel so bad about my nasty eviction with you here as well. Bruce says he's taking control of the mansion, the cave. Vandal replies, for now, but I expect that the law will help me regain what's mine. Bruce asks, what do you mean by that? What's your game, Vandal? But before Vandal can say anything, Bruce is attacked by Failsafe's robots used to secure Gotham and now the prison. Needless to say, an injured Bruce with no gadgets is no match for multiple robots that are basically mini Failsafes, so he's electrocuted. Meanwhile, Zur decides to make an announcement to Gotham City posing as the new Batman, saying, attention citizens of Gotham. Our city has been through many upheavals over the years. Terror stalks the streets, hunting good, honest people. I've spent years fighting against this darkness, against evil. But that evil keeps taking a hold of our city. And I'm here today to tell you evil's days are numbered in Gotham. Tell everyone, let the world seep through the cracks of our city. Batman is back, and crime is finished. If you think you're above others, above the law, I will rain down pain on you, mark my words. And not only is all of Gotham listening, so is the Bat family, with Stephanie and Cassandra wondering if that's really Bruce. But also Damian, Dick, and Barbara are listening as well. At this point, the mayor of Gotham calls Montoya, the commissioner of Gotham, because remember, James Gordon retired a while back. Anyway, the mayor's like, Batman just hijacked every device in the city to show everyone how terrifying he is, that he runs Gotham. I don't want anyone thinking we're cooperating with this madman. Basically telling her to fix this and that he doesn't care if she agrees with Batman or not. We then see the Riddlers listening to Batman's announcement as Zur finishes saying, for all honest citizens of Gotham, you have nothing to fear. I'm your protector, Gotham's protector. But unknown to the Riddler, Batman comes walking right into his place as Riddler runs for his life, but obviously Batman and/or Failsafe catches him and holds him up for the public to see as people record on their phones, telling everyone Edward Nygma, the Riddler, responsible for dozens of deaths, millions in property damage, in and out of Arkham Asylum's revolving doors. No longer. He belongs to me now, to true justice, to Batman. He jumps with Riddler onto a nearby roof where Damian is looking on. Zur says to Damian, son, are you here to fight me like Jason did? Damian looks over and says, is it really you? Zur says, it is. Damian then tells him, prove it, with Zur saying, after you moved in with me, you couldn't sleep. Nightmares. I'd sit in your room with you until you finally drifted off. The next day, you'd always pretend like it never happened. Damian says, father? And Zur replies, son, I'm back, and nothing can stop us. Elsewhere, we see the rest of the Bat family with Tim saying, so the big question is it actually Bruce or is it something else? Barbara says, he's been lost for a while now, Tim. I know we think Zur has infected him. Jason says, it sure sounded like Bruce. And then says, either way, we need to get to the bottom of what's happened before it's too late. On the last page of the issue, we see Bruce, who was previously electrocuted, tied to a chair, as Daniel Captillo says, the years haven't been kind, Bruce, though I suppose the same could be said of me. Bruce says to himself, my old mentor, of course. Daniel continues to say, your other self, the better self, made me warden of this fine institution. A man I know quite well. A man I helped create, the Batman of Zur-En-Arrh. Confused, detective? Well, let me shed some light for you, Dark Knight, as this brings us to issue 146. But first, for all our people on the West Coast, Portland, Oregon's Comic-Con is back. That's right, Rose City Comic-Con has returned once again, and they're bringing a massive show in 2024. Every year, this amazing family-friendly con brings together a full slate of amazing events that spans comics, gaming, sci-fi, cosplay, anime, and every fandom in between. That includes panels and meet and greets with some of the biggest celebrities and artist heroes in fandom, which is why we're excited to have them as the sponsor for today's episode. This year's celebrity guest includes Ahsoka's Rosario Dawson, the Chosen One himself, Hayden Christensen, Star Trek Discovery's Jason Isaacs and Doug Jones, Simon Pegg from The Boys, and a million other fan-loved franchises, and so many more. They also have legendary comic creators like the current writer of Batman, Chip Zdarsky, Hellboy creator Mike Mignola, and Miles Morales Spider-Man writer Cody Ziegler. Rose City Comic-Con 2024 will also feature a 3,000 square foot Star Wars fan experience where you could check out a Mandalorian throne and forge, climb into an X-Wing cockpit, and get a behind-the-scenes look at incredible Star Wars props and costumes. On top of that, they'll have video and tabletop gaming, incredible cosplay, cosplay, and a million other crazy things. It all goes down at the Oregon Convention Center September 6th through 8th, so buy your badges now at rosecitycomiccon.com or use our link below. And when you use code VARIANT at checkout, you'll get $5 off regular 3-day and single-day badges. Just click our link in the description. Alright, Batman 146 starts off with captions saying the Joker did his part. He relished pushing you to the brink time and time again, hoping to bring out your essential self, your backup Batman, the Batman of Zur-En-Arrh, which you eventually reveal to him once more with the help of the Black Glove. As we get flashbacks of some of the Joker's most evil moments throughout his history, like when he shot Barbara Gordon and killed Jason Todd. Apparently all to bring out Zur. We also learned that during the death of the family story, when Joker entered the Batcave, he found Failsafe. Joker then told Captillo everything he saw and knew, that Zur created a failsafe designed to stop Batman if he ever went too far. That Pennyworth was meant to shut it down in case it was activated erroneously. Captillo then tells us that Joker said Zur-En-Arrh is Batman's paranoia magnified. If Zur indeed created this failsafe, this robot, its mistaken activation would undoubtedly bring Zur out to try and stop it, possibly planting his main personality once and for all. With Pennyworth's death, the time was right. Joker picked Cobblepot as his mark. Captillo keeps talking to Bruce, saying he laid out the plan for Cobblepot, faking his death, framing Batman, and starting over. If ever there was an example of you slipping, the Penguin was never one of your top shelf rogues. He didn't have complicated plans like Nigma or Joker, and he certainly didn't have the chemistry to concoct a drug that would simulate death enough to convince even Batman. Of course, Cobblepot was nervous dealing with the Joker. What if the pill actually killed him? The Joker, despite his murderous tendencies, likes his playthings to live. If he didn't, we'd all be dead. The two of you are the most dangerous men on the planet. Everyone lives because you simply haven't decided to kill them. Basically, we find out that Captillo and Joker orchestrated Failsafe to activate in order to bring out Zur-En-Arrh Batman. And back when Captillo trained Bruce, he said your paranoia hadn't set in yet, which made you susceptible. Did you know I was in there, waiting in the deep recesses? Basically, we learned that Captillo implanted a safe word into Bruce's consciousness, and Joker thought the implanted word was to control Bruce and Zur, but really it was a simple command to make sure that I was safe, and now we're here in the prison of your dreams. Run by the true Batman, keeping your Gotham City safe. But Zur isn't a monster. He understands that prisons are about punishment and rehabilitation. So who better to bring along with him on his journey than the man who can rewire the human brain to make everyone the best they can be, the Warden. Captillo then tells Bruce, I'm going to help your better self. Make this world a safer place, Bruce. Bruce replies, don't make me laugh, Captillo. You're a detached narcissistic nihilist. You never cared about helping people, only about observing them from on high. You're here for the game. Joker and I are your sick experiments, and you want to see where it's all going to lead. Captillo then grabs Batman's cowl and puts it on Bruce, saying, I know how much you rely on your secrets. And as your therapist, I don't want to cause you more trauma. Elsewhere in Gotham City, we see Zur and Robin taking down Killer Croc and carrying Croc to the Batplane, but Stephanie Brown shows up asking, what are you doing, Damian? This isn't Batman. You have to know that. He responds, oh please, you all held father back. He's finally doing what he was meant to, and none of you can accept it. Stephanie says, Batman created fear in criminals. Can you see your father doing this to everyone else? As normal civilians are running away from Batman in terror. Zur says, I accept fear if it means they're safe. You're not going to goad me into fighting you all again. It's a waste of everyone's time when the city needs saving. Let's go, son, as Damian goes with Zur, thinking it's his father. Elsewhere, Dick and Barbara discuss if Failsafe really is Batman or not, if he's really Bruce. Dick says he's been struggling with his backup personality, Zur-En-Arrh, so we're at least certain that's influenced his decision to inhabit Failsafe's body. Barbara says there's a very high chance that Bruce is in there, so what do we do? As we see they are both talking to the Justice League on video calls. Flash responds, it sounds like he's still operating on Batman's code. No killing, no guns. Right now, he's just more of Batman, right? Wonder Woman adds, it appears that he's doing things he's wanted to for years, accelerating his war on crime by arresting more criminals. Barbara responds, you're right, Wonder Woman, but he's been bringing his arrests to Blackgate Penitentiary, which he's effectively taken over and fortified. He's booking them all and entering them into the system along with evidence as if he's a cop. He's set up trial dates for months from now. The mayor wants him stopped. Commissioner Montoya is just observing right now. Dick then says we all go against the law from time to time against the powers that be. It's how we operate. But this is different. It's Bruce with the power of Failsafe, a robot that beat all of us. If we decide he's crossed the line, how do we even stop him? Back at Blackgate, we see Bruce is back in his cell with the Joker, but this is Batman, so he's able to break out yet again. But as he's making a break for it, Punchline is being booked into Blackgate by Failsafe's robots. Batman takes out the robots as Joker says, Punchline, how I've missed you. She replies, I'll get us out of here. He says, of course you will, but first, we should have some fun. Meanwhile, Zur goes after Harley, who's innocently eating ice cream in her apartment. Harley says she doesn't understand, saying, I'm practically a Justice Leaguer. As as Harley has turned a new leaf in recent years. But Zur just tells her, Harley, did you really think I'd allow you to go unpunished for all the lives you've helped end while working with the Joker? Zur then puts his hand around her neck with her saying, I'm a hero now, you said. Zur replies, that was then and this is now. Justice has come to Gotham, as Robin looks on clearly thinking to himself, this isn't right. Back at Blackgate, we see the fun the Joker wanted to have with Punchline, which is having her release all the prisoners who then automatically surround Batman, including Vandal Savage. But again, this is Batman and he's eventually able to escape Blackgate. We are then taken to Damian, who's watching the news reporting on footage of Batman and Robin's recent activities on crime, with the public being very divided on this new approach this Batman is taking. Shortly after, Damian finds an Amazo robot and says, the hell? Zur says, I see that you've been exploring our new Bat Bunker while I dropped Punchline on. This is an Amazo 3.0 robot I recently obtained along with a few others. Even I know my own limitations, son. To truly stop crime, we need an army. But rest assured, we will lead together as father and son, and no one will die. Damian is clearly getting more and more suspicious. Right after this, Zur finds out that there's been a riot at Blackgate and that Bruce Wayne has escaped. We then see Superman meet up with Failsafe in the city, and he tells him, Barbara said you were killed, that you uploaded your consciousness into Failsafe. How is that possible? He replies, I know it's a lot to take in, but this was always my plan, my failsafe for my aging body, for the eventual enemy I couldn't physically stand. You never understood. How could you with your invulnerable skin and ageless power? Superman asks, and taking of Blackgate, was that always your plan as well? Zur replies, it's necessary. Can you hear it? The press conference happening right now. It's Vandal Savage. He's on the verge of being anointed police commissioner by people in the shadow. This is Gotham City, Clark. There's no other city like it. Dark forces are always at play here, pulling the strings. People are going to die unless I'm at my best. No more crimes, no more suffering. Isn't that the dream? Superman asks, at what cost? If you go too far, Zur says, then you'll try and stop me. You'll try and you'll fail, because Batman always wins, as he flies off and we see a pickup truck leave Gotham City. And that's issue 146. Let's jump into issue 147. The issue opens up with Damian going to Failsafe saying, Father, what are you doing? He tells him, listening. I've accessed every electronic device in Gotham. Son, there's so much pain, so much anger out there, so much crime. Damian says, we fight it. Batman and Robin, father and son. We don't need anyone else. Zur says, I wish that were the case. It never ends, but luckily, neither will I. We then see Vandal Savage being made the new commissioner of Gotham, but in the crowd, a man with a gun jumps up saying, you killed my friends, as he shoots at Vandal Savage. But Failsafe lands right in front of Vandal, blocking the bullets with his chest, as the shooter says, oh God. Zur then grabs him with the tentacles from his finger, saying, Jimmy Hughes, 4 priors, 4 assault, and 4 weapons possession while working for Victor Fries, last seen working with Catwoman as a burglar. He then looks at Vandal saying, I should just put you in prison. Vandal asks, then why don't you? Would your superhero friends see you throwing the appointed police commissioner in your personal prison as the moment when you went too far? Zur answers, do not be confused, Savage. You're nothing to me. This position of yours is nothing. I'm happy to watch you fail so that the public can see you as you really are. Then at the Nation of Gomorrah, we see Amanda Waller watching Failsafe via the broadcast of Vandal Savage being made commissioner, and she tells her men, this monster is just what we need. A walking, terrorizing reason to bring the public on board our cause, of showing that we let them do whatever they want for too long. Her men asks, do we know for sure this is Batman, ma'am? She says, if he is, I know where to find him, and it's time to pay a proper visit. We are then taken to Happy Harbor, Rhode Island, where we see Bruce, who's headed to a mountain there where the Justice League's old headquarters resides. Bruce is making a quick stop there for supplies. Then back at Blackgate, we see Zur meet with the Warden. Zur basically says to the Warden, it means nothing to me that Bruce has escaped. He's broken and on the run, unable to turn to anyone for fear of what I'll do to them. Bruce Wayne is finished. The Warden says, it's interesting to me that you're underestimating him like so many of his villains have done over the years. What does that say about you, I wonder? Zur says, I do not like what you're implying, Captillo. I gave you this position because of your knowledge of the human mind. If you're intent on dissecting me, The Warden interrupts saying, I'm just saying it's a fine line, isn't it? And that's what made him so fascinating to me. A creature of darkness and terror who protects people, who cares for humanity. Zur tells him, you don't know me, and you don't know where I'm headed. Try and keep the prisoners in prison, Daniel. I have someone trying to get my attention, and that someone is Amanda Waller, who sends her men to raid Wayne Manor. But when they go in, they are greeted by Robin, who makes quick work of them. Zur then goes right to the source, Amanda Waller. Zur says, William Tachman, the Clock King? You disappoint me, Amanda. If he's part of your new Suicide Squad, the suicide part is extremely accurate. She says, William, leave the adults to talk. I had to be sure. Your new look seems to be coming with a new attitude. He tells her nothing has changed, except what I'm capable of. Leave me alone, or next time time, I'll drag you and your people back to America and put you in prison. She tells him, you're not at the stage where you're willing to cause an international incident. Good to know. But you're getting there, aren't you? Building power, cutting out anyone who drags you down. Enacting total control. We want the same thing, Batman, competency. He tells her, you want to eradicate heroes, the people with power, my friends. She says those same friends are going to come for you, and then you'll have to decide who exactly are the loose cannons. He then leaves saying, you've been warned, Waller, with her saying, I suppose I have. The book then takes us back to Bruce, who's arrived at a house in the woods, as captions of him say, got what I needed from the Justice League base. Too risky to stay there, so just need to hope Zur doesn't consider the cabin. My father built it with his bare hands. It was our escape from the trappings of the manor. Alfred would join in and my parents would feed him for a change. I loved it. Everyone loved it. We even see a flashback of Bruce training Tim Drake there, and then we see Bruce bring boxes inside that he's gathered from the Justice League base and starts getting to work on something. Back at the Bat Bunker, Damian walks in saying, Father, the strike team has been dealt with. Zur says, I had no doubt you were up for the task. Damian asks, was Waller surprised? He tells him, nothing surprises Amanda Waller, but she'll think twice about her next move, and I now need to accelerate ours. Damian asks, what are you doing? He tells him time is running out. Others will try and stop us soon. I told you we need an army. And until now, they've all been living in my head. He then reveals more Amazos. Damian says, but father, we can't trust an Amazo. Zur says, I'm uploading variations of Batman from across the multiverse. I've collected them on my travels. With their aid, we will provide safety not just to Gotham, but to the world. Damian says, I don't understand. How could you take the consciousnesses from other versions of yourself? That would just leave their bodies with no one in there or with Zur-En-Arrh. Damian then realizes what's going on, saying, you collected Zur-En-Arrh versions of yourself. The rest were right. What did you do with my father? Zur replies, Damian, he's gone, and he's here. I'm your father in all the ways that matter. Damian then says, I'll kill you as he lunges towards him with batarangs. Zur then restrains him easily, saying, it's okay, son. I knew this was a possibility. In another world, maybe I could trust others to do what's right, but time and time again, I'm showing that Batman could only rely on himself. Waller is right. Total control is the only option. I can't trust or control a Robin unless I make him myself. As he reveals, he created himself a Robin, and I have to say this Robin looks pretty damn cool. Anyway, we're then brought back to Bruce's cabin, who we see is continuing to build something, but while he's welding, he hears a noise outside. So of course he goes to check, only to realize it's Tim Drake, who's followed him there and brought him food. The two then catch up and have a nice conversation as Bruce confesses that Zur was wrong and that he needs his family because together they're stronger. But Zur was putting fear in him, thinking he had to have a one-man war on crime and that it had to be solely his responsibility as he was scared of losing his family. So Bruce pushed them away because he thought that he could cause the death of his family by training all of them to war on crime and that he would be unable to stop it because he's getting older and it would haunt him forever. Tim tells him, we chose this life. Most of us would have ended up here with or without your training, making us better. You've already saved us. We're your family, and you can't avoid loss. Everyone dies eventually. It's how we live that counts. We all help others, and that includes helping each other. Bruce then puts on what he's been working on while saying, Zur got into my head. He made me scared. He made me turn against all of you, but he doesn't understand. He's never understood. You're my strength. I can't do this alone, but more importantly, I don't want to do this alone. Not anymore. I need my family. It's time to put this monster down. As we see on the last page of the issue, what Bruce has been working on, and that's a brand new Batsuit. And that brings us to the finale of the Dark Prison storyline in issue 148. The issue opens up with us seeing a young Bruce training with Captillo. As we see at this moment in time, he's training Bruce to create backup personalities free of natural constraints. But Bruce is saying, I appreciate everything, but this is too far. None of what I'm planning works if I don't have full control of myself. Captillo tells him, this is the ultimate control. You don't realize it yet, but all your training, your mission, you're creating something greater than Bruce Wayne. An entirely new idea that will save people, maybe even the world. All my process will do is protect that. I see things worse, the movements of the world, the evil that will cause it to crumble. It obviously doesn't matter to me. Life unfolds and I just observe it, but you're different, so I'm giving you the tools to stop the storm by becoming a storm. We are then taken back to the present where Bruce tells Tim, call everyone, call the family. Elsewhere, we see Damian has been tied up with Robin standing right in front of him. Damian says, I'm going to kill you. It'll be quick at least, I promise. The Zur Robin says, Father told me about you, the little murderer. Batman doesn't kill, neither does Robin. It's all out of control. The city of murderers, we're going to stop it, make things right. Damian says, you are doomed the second you step foot in my city. You don't get it, Robin. We see all angles. As Damian is sending for help via Morse code, Zur walks in and shocks him, saying, Morse code, remember, his soldiers are more than their utility belts. That should have fried all the electronics hidden in his costume. Zur Robin says, Father, I didn't know. Zur tells him, it's okay, son. This just accelerates the plan. we're ready. Captino walks in saying, we are. It's time to test the machine. What do you say, Batman? He replies, let's cure Gotham. We then learn via the mayor that Failsafe has blocked every entrance and exit to Gotham City. As Mayor Nakano is telling this to Vandal, Vandal says, I'm aware. My officers have ascertained it's some kind of force field propagated by the same robot that patrolled Blackgate. The mayor asks, what exactly is the plan, Commissioner Savage? He tells the mayor, well, apparently that means child soldiers are attempting to stop them. The mayor says, we should arrest them all, but damn it, we need them. Vandal says, I'm fine letting the children play in the streets. We need to cut off the head of the snake. Sit tight in your cushy office, Mr. Mayor. We're going to prison. We are then taken back to Zur and the warden, and we see the machine they were referring to at the beginning of the issue. The cure, so to speak, and they have the Riddler hooked up to it. Riddler says, I don't like this riddle. Zur says, no riddle, Nigma, just an answer. We're going to cure you of your constant desire to prove yourself with malice. Riddler asks, is this a lobotomy? The warden says, hardly. Think of it as a personality upgrade, a little bit of Batman lurking in your brain telling you to stop. You should be proud. We wanted to test it out on someone with a strong mind. So the plan is to cure Gotham by essentially taking out the evil aspect of a villain's brain. Damian and the new Robin watch a video monitor as Damian says, it won't work, you know. Curing the monsters. The new Robin says, at least we're trying, unlike you and your family, constantly throwing people in prison in asylums. We'll perfect the process and then we'll use it on you. We are then brought back to Batman as we see Tim indeed called the family, but Dick and Barbara don't know if they can trust Bruce. Jason says, I'm willing to hear him out, so I think you can too. When they all get together, Bruce tells them, this is my fault. It may have been my hubris from when I was a younger man, but the responsibility is still mine. Dick asks, is it really you? He replies, it is, Dick, and I'm so sorry. My mentor, Daniel Captillo, taught me how to partition my mind. At the time, I refused to do it, but after my first years as Batman, it somehow just made sense. To protect myself, to protect others. I was a fool. Daniel is a brilliant nihilist. A nihilist who roped the Joker into his twisted game. The Joker pushed me, drawing Zur out for good, and now he's in the body of Failsafe, an unstoppable machine. I could absolve myself by saying he's not me, that he's a fiction given life, but what he's done to all of you, to the city we protect, a part of me did that. The part untethered by Bruce Wayne, by my humanity. For so long, he's been there in the background, pushing me into the darkness away from the people I love. But I need you all, not just for my damn mission. You're my family. You've given me hope when the darkness creeps in. Dick then asks, I'm assuming you have a plan. And Bruce answers, I'm Batman, aren't I? Meanwhile, back in Gotham City, we see things aren't going too hot as Vandal Savage has called in reinforcements, aka Amanda Waller and the United States military. Batman and the Bat family start enacting their plan as Batman heads into Blackgate and his family help him behind the scenes. Eventually, Batman makes his way to Zur and the warden, where we see several of his rogues are now hooked up to the machine, with Zur saying, welcome. It's fitting that you watch this in person as I fix all your mistakes in a single moment. At this point, Red Hood sneak attacks Failsafe, saying, surprise robot, as he slices into him. We see Nightwing inside Blackgate saying, Oracle, I'm about to hook you into the system. Oracle says, got it. Hopefully I can bypass Zur's security to shut his whole experiment down. When you're done, get to Bruce as quickly as you can, Dick. He's going to need all the help he can get. We are then taken to Tim, who's freeing Damian. As he does so, he's attacked by Zur Robin. He tells him, let's see what you're made of, and Tim responds, oh my god, you're him. Zur clone Bruce. Zur Robin replies, you all betrayed him. Who else could he trust but himself? Telling us this just isn't any Robin. Zur cloned and made a young Bruce to become his Robin. But no matter, Tim, Damian, and the Bruce Robin exchange blows, but in the end, Damian and Tim are able to knock out and restrain the Zur Robin. Then back at Zur, we see Barbara was able to deactivate Zur and the Warden's machine. Then while Batman and Red Hood are fighting Zur, we see Zur is getting fed up, saying, you once threw the entire Justice League at this machine. Do you really think you stand a chance? As he punches Red Hood across the face so hard, he sends him flying. Batman then runs over saying, Jason, no, my boy, my son. As we realize, Zur just killed Jason and walks over to Bruce, hugging Jason, saying, this is your weakness. You surrounded yourself with soldiers in the war that they never understood, and now one is dead. Because of you. Because of me. Batman turns around saying, hello, Failsafe. At this point, Failsafe is going haywire and essentially self-destructing from within, as Zur just made him kill, and Failsafe was made to go after Batman if he killed, but now he is Batman and he just killed. The Warden asks, what's happening? Bruce says, Batman doesn't kill, and if he does, he has to face the consequences. Batman then knocks Failsafe on his butt, saying, the Failsafe program was designed to never be erased. All Zur could do was lay his consciousness over top the original program. And since Zur left my mind, I've been mining mining his memories of creating the robot, including how to shut him down. So essentially, since Zur was using Failsafe to be Batman and then killed, it corrupted his system to the point that the Failsafe program remembered getting rid of Zur's consciousness. So Bruce was able to take the opportunity of Failsafe malfunctioning to shut him down. The Warden then walks up to Bruce saying, "I pride myself in never being wrong, that I'm unable to be surprised. But maybe for the first time in life, I genuinely am." The Bruce I knew would never sacrifice one of his own for his mission. And yet here you are finally making the tough decisions. All I have to say about that is, as he says the safe word he planted in Bruce's mind all those years ago, saying to Bruce, "A little gift implanted all those years ago when you were under my spell. I gave the Joker a phrase to stop you. Did you really think I wouldn't have one all for myself? I always knew you'd be great, Bruce, so I couldn't let you go. Why are you laughing?" As we see, Bruce didn't sacrifice Jason, as we get a flashback from earlier where we find out Batman had a vial of Lazarus fluid enough to bring someone back to life, and he tells Jason, "I'm going to allow Zur to kill me to reactivate Failsafe, and then hopefully I'll be brought back fixed." Jason says, "You can't do that. You just told all of us that you're the only one who could shut down Failsafe after he's activated." Jason then volunteers to be the one to sacrifice himself, but Bruce reluctantly agreeing. At this point, we're brought right back to the present as we see Jason Todd stand up saying to the Warden, "Don't act so surprised. After all, I've got some practice at dying." Nightwing then knocks out the Warden, and Damian then goes in and embraces his father. So like we know, and like Batman said earlier in the issue, he's Batman. He always has a plan to pull out the W. Captillo then does the normal villain monologue of, "You think you stopped me and you stopped the storm, but I could see all the angles." But Bruce eventually interrupts him saying, "You lost today because you fought all of us. We're the storm, and we'll never die out," as the story ends with Batman and his sons jumping into the night. And just like that, we have the dark prison storyline, giving us the conclusion of how the confrontation between Batman, Zur, and Failsafe came to an end, but not a permanent end. Just a one-on-one end for now, if you will, because we all know that somehow after Bruce stopped Zur and deactivated Failsafe, Failsafe was reactivated and now working with Amanda Waller. But we're gonna save what's going on there and how that happened for the Absolute Power episode. This is just to get you caught up so you know what happened leading up to Absolute Power. Speaking of, I know some of you are probably curious of what became of the Bruce Wayne clone that Zur created. Well, we find out in Batman issue 149 that with Zur gone, he starts going crazy and blames Batman for killing his father. But eventually Bruce is able to talk some sense into him and bring him in under his care. He then runs some tests on him only to realize that he is indeed a clone of him, but he's aging at an accelerated rate and will soon be dead. Bruce tries to stop the accelerated process, but it doesn't work. So in the end, with this clone accepting his fate, he leaves Bruce a gift that's his right hand, so Bruce can replace his robotic one with his own hand once again from his clone. It's actually a really touching story, and at the end we also see Bruce becomes a billionaire once again, as he's now acquired Zur's money from overseas accounts. So Bruce is rich again, and the Robin Bruce clone eventually dies of old age, but this was an amazing story. I can't wait to break down the first two issues of Absolute Power, because Failsafe, Queen Brainiac, and Amanda Waller against the League is going to be a lot of fun. So be sure to keep checking the channel for those videos in coming weeks. But other than that, what did you think of the Dark Prison story? Let us know down in the comments, and we'll see you next time when we talk about all things comics.